Good morning. Welcome to Good Vibes. I'm Lisa House, the hippie chick. I have Dane Henning with me, the psychedelic dude.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm going to make him a hippie yet, I promise.
I'm working. No, I'm not really working on it.
No, you're not. Tell me if you're working hard at getting enough water intake.
I'm doing better. I'm now on the commitment train of
Yay.
getting rid of Mountain Dew.
Yay, that's a big step.
Exercise has kind of gone down a little bit, but the water intake is going up. So
That's a great improvement. I always do okay with my water. I have water in my coffee cup, but
I have coffee in my coffee cup.
yes,
so,
he does. That's kind of water.
It's got water.
It's got water in it. So
I count that. I'm going to count that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to count that.
And but my exercise has been off the last week or so. I've got a retro RV that my friends had that they brought down to our property because I live on a big piece of property and I have an RV pad at the front. And I'm going to retro it out and make it a Airbnb.
Oh.
So I've
Sweet.
been working on that, which is kind of exercise.
It's kind of
just
exercise.
not
Sure.
not a regimented
Yeah, absolutely.
thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Sweet.
that's fun. Gary, can you put that graphic up that I have for the hippie names? We're going to talk about having fun at work today, and I thought this might be a fun way to open it.
Okay.
So you take your birth month, and that's your first name, and then you take the day you were born, and that's your last name. So do you remember what yours was?
Daisy Love.
Daisy Love. I like it.
I mean, yeah.
Mine was Olive Bloom.
That's kind of that one's a lot better than Daisy Love.
Gary, what was yours? He didn't look. What month were you born?
Well, July, there we go.
July. So you're Olive. And what day?
And 31st.
Oh, I can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm in the way.
Olive Valley.
Olive Valley. Those are fun. So you all comment below and tell us what your hippie name is. We'll laugh over those. That'll be fun.
It's not better than Daisy Love. Let's put it
I
that
don't know.
way.
Daisy Love's pretty good. So studies have shown over the last 20 years or so that when you work in a place that promotes laughter and happiness, that you have happier employees.
Sure.
They feel more satisfied, and they tend to be more productive in their jobs.
Sure. They
So-
say too. Yeah.
Now, of course, you have to be respectful. We work in an office, so it's a little easier for us to cut up and have fun than someone who's in the long-term care industry and has patients around.
right.
But there are still ways you can do that and be respectful, and there are ways you can incorporate the residents to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it shows that it enhances motivation, it increases productivity, it reduces stress. We can all use that. They tend to have higher job satisfaction and improved task performance.
That makes perfect sense. As long as the fun doesn't get in the way of the productivity.
No,
it
you can't
absolutely
do
is
that.
perfectly fine.
So it also says it improves teamwork, that it builds more trusting relationships between the employees,
Sure.
so they work together better.
Yep. Better teamwork.
And it increases retention. And I know retention is a thing we deal with a lot in the long-term
It's a
care
huge problem
industry.
in long-term care. Huge problem. And it's across the board too. It's not just among CNAs. It's top down. I mean, it's across the board.
Absolutely.
Turnover problems. Absolutely. So
So maybe something that can help with that a little bit. Some simple ways you can do that are friendly competitions with prizes.
okay.
Which, I don't know, what could you do in the long-term care facility that might be a fun?
Well, a lot of times, I know that they, the really engaged facilities, they'll work on certain key performance situations. If they have a really big fall problem and they reduce the number of falls, they'll do something. So basically, having a goal that's work-related and work-oriented, and then being able to get together after the goal is reached and have
Yeah,
fun.
I think that's a great idea.
And I mean, that's usually something that's ran by the administrator, but I guess sometimes it could be done with a staff development coordinator or something like that.
Sure, absolutely.
But either way, I mean, regardless, it's got to be a team thing. I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
Personally, so
Yeah. Another way is to create your own personal social media page. So maybe like a Facebook page for just the people at work, a closed group.
Like a group,
so
yeah.
you can only add who you want.
Yeah.
And you need to set parameters about what's okay to put on there and what's not. And you need to be strict about it. Somebody needs to monitor, and make sure that's right. But that's a great place where they can share inspirational things.
Sure.
you know.
And if you want a group that's not about, somebody picking up shifts, then that just has to be that just has to be set out. I mean, if you want a group for setting up shifts, if you're wanting to do a Facebook group that has a specific target in mind, whether it's to improve morale or something like that, make sure it sticks to that as opposed to, hey, can such and such pick up my shift or something like that. I think that would be important, so that way it doesn't get too cluttered and the objective gets lost. Otherwise, I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing that is really important, I think, is to take time to celebrate your wins. So whether it be something as big as reducing falls or something as little as, we had less turnover.
That's a big thing, though. I mean, that's a
It
huge,
is a big
that's
thing. That
huge
is a big
though.
thing. But even a small improvement
Yeah.
is worth celebrating.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, so
absolutely.
everybody knows you're moving in the right direction and
Yeah, no, I think
keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, that's really the only way. I mean, Lori talks about it all the time that you can't know if you're making any improvement if you don't know where you are or what you're doing or how you're doing it or if the goal is that you've been there. I don't know if I'm winning if there's no score on the scoreboard. I have
True.
no idea. So that's a really good way to, especially if you're, in a nursing home and you're trying to improve things for your residents, not only your residents but also you. I think it's a really good idea to find those targets, find out what you would want to improve, and go for it, shoot for it, and then celebrate it. Celebrate it like you won the World Series or something. But I mean, go for it.
or the Super Bowl,
Or the Super Bowl.
like the Kansas City
This is
Chiefs.
football season, so there you go. Absolutely. I'm a baseball guy myself, so that's why I said World Series. Anyway,
So next show, we're going to be rounding out our monthly challenge on
Yeah.
the water and more exercise.
so that will be done.
We hope all of these things will continue on, but technically that part of the challenge will be done.
Sure.
So we'll be introducing the new challenge.
Okay.
I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you what it is today, but I can tell you that in the list of things that we're going to do between now and conference, goal setting is one of those things, because you just talked about setting goals,
Yes.
and so I think that's a really important one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we will.
Also, one other thing is, I mean, like we were talking about with the that sort of goal setting and having fun at work. You can set your own goals. You don't have to have other people with you in order to do that. Let's say you don't have a very good teamwork atmosphere. You can set your own goals. If you see something that you would like to see better, or you would like to see something better about yourself, you can have fun and celebrate those types of things as well too.
Absolutely.
So if it's about you yourself, or you'd like to help initiate better teamwork, let's say you don't have a good teamwork setting in your nursing home, you can lead that. You can head that charge, and then once you get that team, you could spearhead it basically, and then once you get there, celebrate the snot out of it. So that was just something that I thought about. Sorry.
And even that's a great point.
Yep.
And even on your personal goals, set your own little reward. If I do this, I'm gonna have an ice cream cone, or
Sure.
whatever you want your reward
Cheat
to
day.
be.
Cheat day on my diet.
Maybe
yeah,
you
there
have
something
an
like
hour
that.
to go read a book. I mean,
absolutely.
put that aside. So
Absolutely.
I think that's something to look forward to.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to remind everybody that club accounts are open
They're
for
open.
CNA Fest.
They're open.
We're going to be, no, it should be up. The essay contest should be up on the website. So if you are interested in that, you can respond to that essay question and get that sent in to us. By early summer, we're going to determine who the winners are, and
Yes.
you can win registration to CNA Fest.
Everything. Registration, travel, the works. Yep.
So that's a great thing to work toward, and we would love to see your essays and your thoughts.
Yep.
And
And also remember that if you're not I don't really consider myself a very good writer either. Mostly because I am a grammar Nazi and I have to have everything perfect before, grammatically rather. Anyway, so you don't have to be a grammar Nazi. You don't have to be great at grammar, anything like that. If you misspell your, and it needs to be an apostrophe RE, don't worry about it. Just answer the question to the best of your ability. But make sure you answer the question. Don't just write a bunch of stuff that sounds nice. Actually address the question, because to my understanding, the judges who are independent judges, that's the very first thing they look at, is if you actually answered the question. So make sure you answer the question first. Yeah.
absolutely.
Before you elaborate.
And I do want to say that we're so fortunate to have people every year that write us about the essay contest and submit essays. But if you've won in the last 2 years, you're not going to be eligible, because we
Okay.
want new people to be able to have that benefit.
Get that experience. That makes sense.
And have that
Makes sense.
experience.
Sure.
So we've got that, and then the registration is up. So if you
Yes.
know you want to come to CNA Fest, go in there and do your registration. You don't have to have paid anything yet into your club account
Right.
or
Yeah,
into
you
that.
don't even have to have paid a cent yet
Mm-hmm.
into your club account or anything. You can just go ahead and register. You just know you're going to go, and whether you win an essay scholarship or not, you're just intending on going.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and register, so that way we have your
Yeah,
you
that gives
counted.
us an idea, so we can start planning, hotel space and things like
Yeah,
that. So
lodging and food and
all those
all that good
important
stuff.
things.
The games, every little aspect, we go off of those numbers. So make sure
Mm-hmm.
you go ahead and get registered if you're intending on going. Go ahead and get registered. Again, you don't have to pay anything up front.
right. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for
We're
having
hoping
me.
to have some interesting people next week. We'll have
That's
our
what I
show
heard.
together to introduce the new
Guest.
guest and the new
Sure.
goal
Oh yes.
for next
oh,
month.
of course.
But
yes.
then I'm thinking we'll have another guest the next
That's
week.
great.
So,
That's
yeah.
great. Awesome.
So we'll
Awesome.
look forward to hearing from you all. And until then, peace out. I did it backwards.